What's up, y'all? It's Fozzy Whittaker here. You're watching Third and Longhorn. Like and subscribe. Hooker.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a very special edition of Third and Longhorn. We're going to do a little spring game recap, and I got some guys here that know a little bit of football. So we're gonna start off. I want to start it off actually in a different way because I want to know. I mean, this thing this year was huge. There were 50,000 people there. Like, it was a huge event. Bevo Boulevard was open, everything, all of that. When did the spring game become so huge? I mean, I've been most years and I still don't know, but when did it become this big?
Let me give a little insight. At least whenever I was at Texas, way after Rod and DJ, they old. Them boys
And Jay Hills.
Jay Hills is the one that he probably originally started when spring games actually started. Like, Jay Hills' era was whenever NCAA finally allowed the actual game to happen. Jay Hills at the front of that legislation.
Yeah.
But ultimately, so Mac Brown used to have the spring game during Texas Relays weekend.
Ooh, that's right.
Whenever Texas Relays is here, you had everybody from across the world.
Oh, man.
And I ain't talking just the country, USA. Like, you had global people in to watch all of these people running track. And then on Sunday, after the relays were over, everybody either would stay in town and then just head on over, and we would have spring game probably like 1 o'clock, same kickoff as what they did this past weekend. But it was a show, like a showcase. You got to have so many people involved. And then whenever you win in, right, everybody want to be associated with the winner. That's whenever you get more and more people showing up, which I think is the reason, or the partial reason, why there was over 50,000 plus this past weekend being able to take in the spring game. But it was one for my era with Mac Brown that was created off of the not the portal, but the way you got new faces in. You look at the recruiting, and then you look at what is happening around Austin and being paired with the Texas Relays. That played a big factor in the size of the crowd.
Also, I'll give some credit to, because I think they always had, obviously festivities surrounding the spring game. But CDC and what they've done to really boost the fan experience, whether it be for actual game days or the spring game, Bevo Boulevard, the concerts, right? Longhorn City Limits. I'll admit that also is different for Texas, and it seems to have, I think, added a certain different ambiance to the spring game, which I really enjoyed. I think a lot of people enjoyed it, coming from all over the state of Texas, just to partake in the festivities surrounding the spring game. In addition to, now Texas is good, so now I actually want to watch the team too.
Shouts to Drew Martin and Charles Branch, who do a lot of good work on that thing.
Yeah, not only Texas is good, Texas is back again. So I'm just telling you, it's just a reminder. I know, right?
He can say it though. He's a GOAT. He can say it.
Right. He's a coach. He's
a GOAT and a coach.
He's a coach.
It's one of those things where it's just a confirmation and reminder that everybody's excited about Texas at the end of the day. And it showed on Saturday, man. The amount of talent that is on the team from top to bottom, doesn't matter the position. Sark is building this culture, building this team to last a long time here, and that's what we paid him for, and he's doing his job well. And Arch.
Oh man, I was there. Don't take my question.
I'm just telling you.
Let's get the four-letter word out of the way. Let's get Arch out of the way. Let's talk about it so we can talk about the rest of the spring game.
Well, let me start off with this. And obviously, Arch, and not even just Arch, but Trey, another four-letter word. And Cole, Lord, another four-letter word.
Come on now.
They all absolutely balled out in the spring game. But is that more indicative or foreshadowing of the progress of the offense?
I know where he's going.
Or the digress of the defense?
Oh, man. Come on.
And I got two defensive guys.
I knew he was going to go there. Why can't we talk about Arch first for a while?
I'm curious.
Arch needs a whole 10 minutes.
That's one of my takeaways. Was like, was Arch really balling, or was the defense really sucking?
But yeah, because all three quarterbacks balled out.
Right. It wasn't just the ones. It wasn't just the twos. It wasn't just the threes.
Cole Lord got in on it too. Cole Lord out there slinging.
And in all fairness
of
to
them.
Quinn, he only got 2 series, so we didn't have
Yes.
a ton of work.
Right.
Ton of body work
Quinn's
on
5.
And that was intentional.
Because I finished the 4-letter conversation.
Yeah, but I think anytime you're watching the spring game, right, it's a glass half full, glass half empty observation. If you're happy about the way Arch looked and happy about the quarterbacks and the passing game and the wide receivers and how great they are, DJ and I probably were watching the game with a little bit of a different perspective. Watching thinking, man, they're giving up a lot of explosive plays, a lot of deep passing touchdowns. So we can get into that, but that is an issue that obviously is something that was a liability for Texas last season, their pass defense. So it's disappointing that they haven't improved on that already this spring. They got time to work on that. But starting with the quarterbacks, I want to start with the positive before we get to the negative. You might have the deepest I don't know if you might. I think it is the deepest quarterback room in the country. Give me one that's deeper.
Including the walk-on.
Including the walk-on. Including the third-string quarterback. I'll put Trey Owens up against your third-string. I'll put my third-string quarterback up against your third-string quarterback.
question.
And the backup Arch.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and how long? Who's going to copyright Arch Madness? Because they didn't do it right now.
It's
already copyrighted?
It's already copyrighted
Okay,
because of no. It's there was a basketball tournament. It's one of the conferences that happens in St. Louis under the Arch, and they call it Arch.
Okay.
Trust me, I looked it up. I was like, who owns this? I know
Nick about to
somebody
buy
owns
it.
They got the golden
it. Donate it.
They got the golden arches. We got the golden arch.
Well done. Well timed. Coming to America reference. Well done. Good job.
But man, the spring game was awesome. Seeing it's a good thing. Some people, I don't know if they, it's not a quarterback controversy type of thing. It's one of those things where it's a good problem to have to say we got a deep quarterback room. That's cool to say. You don't want Arch to go out there and throw a bunch of interceptions and not look good. That's our future, right? At the end of the day, and we all know that. But for him to go out there and showcase his ability that we all know he has and we all believe in him, for him to go out there with the talent he has and to be able to get more confidence as a young guy, it's big. Even though he's a really good player, confidence is everything for quarterbacks. And for him to do that, I think he's standing a little taller now, just knowing, hey, this is where I need to be, and I am the future. And whenever that time comes, he'll be ready to step in.
Well, I think you talked about this on the Horn, and I'm very interested in this theory. I wish Oak was here, but I think you'd be a good one to add to this too, DJ. When in a game like that, when a quarterback knows he's not going to get hit, right? Like, is there less of a rush on the defense, on the line, on linebackers, or is there more of a confidence in the quarterback's head of like, look, I know I can step up because or I know I have time because I'm not going to get hit today.
In my opinion,
I think you guys brought that up on the station.
That definitely
and I wondered if that
benefits the quarterback.
I wonder if that was part of it.
That definitely
no question.
I don't know, because he didn't hold the ball long. There was timely stuff. So
he read it right.
Yeah, he read it right. He went through his progressions. He looked really good.
There was a machine-like efficiency to his game, whether it be with his movements in the pockets, which there's no wasted movement in the pocket, and then with the timing at which he gets rid of the football on time and the rhythm that he gets rid of the football. So yeah, I agree. I do think that's in fact just a factor, just the psychological effect of, hey, these guys can't touch me, so I'm free to stay in the pocket as long as possible, extend the play. But I'm with DJ. I recognize maybe two times where the rush actually got to him. I think Sark actually would overrule and whistle the play dead. He operated that offense, the mastery that he operated that offense with. You thought he was the third-year veteran.
Right. Yeah.
The third-year
He looked very comfortable.
He just looked comfortable.
Yeah. He looked very comfortable.
And to me, the best compliment I give a man, you look like a Manning. You look like a Manning. So.
That's a credit to the coaching staff and Sark and them developing them, right?
No,
he didn't look like that a year ago. So
that's a great point.
So I'm loving it.
I even want to hit on the fact that
Arch, I'm loving it. Nice. Solid.
There it is. 24 different receivers caught a ball.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Between all 4 quarterbacks, well, really 5 quarterbacks, Tatum came in as well and played a little bit. Quinn, obviously. 24. And
700 yards, 700 some yards passing.
Well, Alex Loeb and I had to go down the roster. It's like, do we even have 24 eligible backs? I was like, no, 24, bro. It's like every running back, every tight end, like every wide, like literally every possible body caught a pass,
crazy.
including walk-ons. Like
Thatcher
Milton, Reese Beauchamp in the back of the end zone. Like these cats was making big plays.
But see, that's a great point because I think the spring game is all about, right? You're showcasing your entire roster. So you're going to see the depth of the roster at every position. And we did see that, right? Texas really deep at quarterback. So what? Quarterbacks look great. Texas really deep at receiver. Like you said, a lot of great receivers out there catching balls. So the running backs, I think that's why the game was so competitive down to the wire. It's because I do think Texas roster right now has been upgraded, and I do think you're deep at a lot of positions. And one of the positions where you're not necessarily deep at, where you just got reinforcements, is DB. You just brought in a recruiting class of 5 DBs. You brought in Makuba. So that was one of the last phases of roster construction was the defensive backfield. And I think that showed. Because a lot of the mistakes that were made were by young DBs who hadn't had a lot of time out there. Bad angles, bad eyes, stuff like that. I mean, we know about the Terrence Brooks thing, which we'll talk about that too, I guess. But I think ultimately you saw in that spring game what the roster, basically the roster construction and really the phases of it.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, let's move on to 5-letter words. All right. Let's go to, we're going to start with Quinn, right? And I think, look, last year, I remember this time exactly when Malik Murphy balled out in the spring game and we all went nuts. Trust me, I'm in the Golden Arch, the Arch Madness fan club. I'm all in. Not as much as Bert Auburn, but I'm all in. But
because Bert's a 4-letter word.
I should have included it earlier. But let's talk about that. I mean, look, Quinn's the guy. He's proven, right? I think we are gonna have an issue, especially with fans, et cetera, with the Quinn's going to have a shorter, not leash with the coaches, but with the fans, right? And I a little bit of me think that's pretty undeserved with the way he played last year and how he's performed. What do y'all think about that?
I think that's a natural thing. It's you guys gotta like we got big recruits come in, we got big time players come in. You got somebody that's going to be the face of the school soon, and it is what it is. But Quinn has been through this before, so I think he's conditioned and equipped to handle this kind of pressure. And I think it's positive pressure. You got a young guy that's really good, that's going to be good. He's going to go to the next level at some point.
Iron sharpens iron.
At the end of the day, and as fans, and we're fans now, we don't see the communication and camaraderie that they have, right? They're not bickering at each other. They're actually trying to help each other. And Quinn can help Arch big time at the end of the day, just mentally on the football field. And I can't wait for that. That's just going to raise the whole level of everybody. That's a good problem to have. Say, man, my second string quarterback balled out. Cool.
He's pushing.
Great.
He's pushing you.
That's how it should be.
You got the
It's about handling pressure. You're at the University of Texas. You're the starting quarterback. That's a lot of pressure. Being a Manning and having to live up to the expectations we all had for Arch Manning going to that spring game. That's a lot of pressure.
That is.
And he responded very well to it. So same thing with Quinn. Beating Alabama in Tuscaloosa, a lot of pressure. Texas OU game, y'all been there, a lot of pressure. That's part of that job. That comes with the territory, being able to handle that pressure. I think Quinn's done a really good job of it, a little bit more. And you know what? The scouts want to see how he's going to handle this pressure too. If you're going to draft that guy to be the face of your franchise, then you want to know he can handle this kind of pressure. Not only handle it, respond well to it.
Not to mention, whenever Quinn performed at Pro Day,
oh yeah, he did.
He put on the show.
Yeah, we were talking about him.
That was pressure,
but he
bro.
put on the show.
Yes.
A lot of people came away impressed, obviously, with what those guys getting ready to get drafted on. But the conversation that was had nationally was, Quinn looked good, man. He's slinging the rock. And I know DJ's been out there. He's a coach now, so he's out there all the time. I've been able to go out there throughout the course of spring and seeing the way Quinn has even matured even more. He's taken another step forward. The spring game was not indicative of what he's been able to showcase in his growth just over these past couple of months since the end of the Sugar Bowl. But I look at Quinn, and this is where I know where the confidence level of that room is in general. As Steve Sarkisian has already said, he's the leader. He's the starter.
Well, and we heard that from Coach Beckton
he's
too.
The guy, right?
When it comes to working,
That's how this team goes, and it hinges off of Quinn's success and how he goes. And so I think that's one of the greatest compliments that you can get as a leader of the team is your coach believing in you and then publicly stating that you are the leader and the person that's going to continue to lead this team.
I know there are a lot of reasons why Arch did not want to be on a video game, but thank God he's not on the video game after the spring game. Because everybody would have
ratings, right? They're going to check.
Ratings.
Man,
Lower fans be like, I'm subbing in right now. Thank you that he's out of the game. Thank you, Arch. Very mature right there. Man, it would be crazy. All the stuff, the videos they post online.
Oh my gosh, I hadn't even thought about that.
And then the transfer portal and stuff. Just good job, Arch.
All right, well, but we are going to, I want to watch y'all's faces when I say this other 5. This could be a 4-letter word, but we're going to go 5-letter word. I just want to see y'all's faces. Wingo.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Give me your thoughts on Mr. Ryan Wingo.
Oh my goodness.
I'll be quick. Most physically gifted receiver the Texas had on campus since Roy Williams, I think, in terms of physical traits.
And especially as a freshman. Like,
true freshman.
Supposed to be going to freaking prom and walking at his graduation in like 2 weeks.
Come on now.
Like, and he looked like he's a fully grown man.
That adjustment on that fourth quarter touchdown.
Give me that. Easy. Hello.
Yeah.
Like this dude, he looks like a veteran. He plays like a veteran. Obviously, his family comes from that type of lineage. He has that type of history, family of athletes. But what he put on display, the long touchdown grab, like you mentioned, and also in the fourth quarter being able to make that adjustment, his size, his stature. Coach Jackson, man, he's done a phenomenal job getting him here, number one, but then also the development that I saw from him, like first practice to the spring game. Like you can even see the level of increases that he's been able to put on and just sharpening up his routes just a little bit, learning from Isaiah Bond, right? He's the elder statesman in the room right now. But Isaiah Bond has showed him some things on technique that'll help him continue to get better and become a better receiver. But I'd be surprised if he's not making big time plays for this Texas team this upcoming fall. Because he is that physically gifted and talented, and he makes his presence known whenever he steps on the field.
Yeah, you usually don't. It's hard to, and we're very blessed to have him, but to for his speed and his athletic ability and to be a big guy, that's like, man, you see him, and a couple weeks ago when I saw him, like that's not a person right there. I was like, oh my golly, that's Texas is in good hands. So that's why I tell you, like we're gonna be good for a while.
Yeah. I mean that room is scary. I mean, and we didn't even get to see that much of Matthew Golden, and we haven't seen Silas Bolton yet. And I mean, like this team they're deep at receivers. So, well, Rod, while we got you here, I want to talk. Let's talk D-backs and the D-back play and what you saw. And are you freaking out, or are you quietly confident deep down?
I'm not quietly confident. No, but I'm not freaking out just yet. I do think there was you had no Jahdae Barron there, so Jahdae Barron was not with the guys.
Yeah.
He's gonna.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. That might be the best player. I think he is the best player in that secondary. Also, I think Derrick Williams is going to be a player for you in the star, and he looked good in the spring game. Malik Muhammad is. Legit.
Man, he's the deal.
Yeah,
I think he's the best cover guy we have.
Yes, no doubt. I totally agree with that. And he's dependable. I think your concern is going to be the cornerback spot opposite of Malik Muhammad and what you're going to do there, as we discussed earlier. Maybe that's a Jahdae Barron. Maybe that's a guy you get through the transfer portal. You can look at other options there. But it's interesting with Gavin Holmes. I think he started the spring game, if I'm not mistaken. I wonder if Terrence Brooks felt some certain way about that and him leaving. But losing a guy like Terrence Brooks, who was 13 of your 14 starts last year, had more snaps than any of your corners last season. That's a concern just in terms of stabilizing the position. The truth is, guys, the same issues they struggled with last year. This is the thing that really upset me in the spring game. Guys were just wide open. Like, it wasn't that they were contested catches. These were guys running wide open for 2 75-yard touchdowns, a 56-yard touchdown, and 5 touchdowns of explosive plays. So that was my concern. You're talking about guys who have bad eyes in the wrong place, reading the wrong keys. You have guys who are taking bad angles to the football. Go look at my man, Phil Samee. He should have picked off that one of Thatcher Milton. If you go watch him, he's right there. He got the angle on it. And he took the wrong angle, and you watch it right after they puts his hands on his head because he goes,
he knew it.
I messed up. Because I think he was waiting sometimes you wait on the football instead of attacking it. And I think he saw it coming right up. He was like, "Oh, I'm about to get this pick," and then the attachment came right in front of him. Just a young guy, and he'll learn that because he's a really good player. And I saw it's man-to-man. The guys would get beat in man-to-man coverage, right? Playing press. We saw Gavin Holmes get beat. Could have been a face mask there. We saw Kobe Black get beat. So I think most of the guys that were giving up those plays were younger guys. And Terrence Brooks is not a young guy, but I think most of them were younger guys that were giving up some of those big plays. But guys, these were the same issues that I documented last season that they struggled with, and that ultimately cost them a couple of football games last year. My fear is that it could do the same. I'm not worried about the frontline guys. I'm worried about the rotational guys. Because their frontline guys going to play 60, 65% of your snaps. But what about the guys who are backups now? Will that be just the younger guys we saw playing the spring game? Because now you got issues because Terrence Brooks is not there. So that would be my concern because they want to play a lot of guys in that secondary.
And Austin Jordan, too.
And Austin Jordan now, too. Yeah. Thank you very much. So the depth to stabilize that position or the secondary concerns me a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, but let's talk about the positives. I think, and I'm not just saying that because I saw Justice Finkley walk in the room, but I think I liked what I saw from that pass rush. I liked what they were doing, and you could see it. I mean, and granted, this wasn't full contact for those guys. Some of them it was, but as far as the quarterback goes,
edges.
But we got some speed on that team. We got some. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's always tough when you rushing the passer knowing you can't hit the quarterback. It's like it's out of control, and then it's like under control, and the linemen are really trying to block you. They're holding and doing all kind of stuff. But
linemen don't hold.
Right. But being able to collapse the pocket, that's what I saw a lot of. Collapse the pocket and we got an offensive coach, so he's not going to blow it every time. You know how that is. You know,
give a little extra time to make that pass down.
I'm sure some rushers was like, "Come on, coach." I was going to be there.
I saw him complain. I saw the guys like, "Hey, coach, what's up with that?" But they go 6 deep on the edges, man.
Some center man, true
6 deep, and then Coach Bosick add himself to the equation too, man. They're 6 deep in the edges.
Oh yeah,
I think that's still the strength of the defense this season, no doubt.
I'm with you.
It was a tough day for my man Bert. I will say that, but you know what? He missed his one, but that's all right. He's gonna be fine. I'm not worried about it.
He embraces it. I went and saw his Instagram post.
But
he captioned it.
No, he did not.
I'm dead serious.
Is he making? So he's mocking himself like that?
Like he captioned it doing
swag,
and then showed it like Bert got the juice right now.
He's the man.
Bert got the juice.
Well, any other takeaways before we wrap this thing up, guys?
I can't wait for the season to roll around. Yeah. That was the best spring game I've ever seen in my life.
That is true.
Yeah, for sure.
From whatever level you're talking about, high school, Pop Warner, Pee Wee, college.
Yeah,
best spring game I've ever seen. Yeah. Like it's that was indicative of the level of competition that Sark wants to breed and the culture that he's installed in year number 3. Going into year number 4 and going into the SEC, but also like those guys competed as if something was on the line all the way to the final set.
It felt like an SEC spring game.
Yeah, and I don't know if there was. We'll have to ask Justice if there was like the winning team got like stakes or something. I don't know, but they were playing like
someone's on the line.
Like you can't lose. You can't lose. Like you can't lose. And the tough all day mentality that Coach Sark has been preaching, man, it was evident all throughout 14 practices of spring, and then it was finally put on display for the world to see in the spring game this past Saturday. So I'm really excited for what this team can do.
Well, I'm excited too. We got another 4 months, so this has got to tide us over for a little while. But thanks so much, everybody. Appreciate y'all joining us. Hook 'em.
Hook 'em.